Vaheguru 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 Vaheguru
कवन कवन गुण कह के गावा तू साहिब गुणी निताना तुमरी महिमा पर न सको तू ठाकुर ऊंच भगवाना जेवा एक अनेक गुण तेरे तरे नानक चरणी पाए फल गुण नित सलाहिए जिसनो तिल ना तमाए जिन जिन नाम ते आया तिनके काज सरे हर गुर पूरा आराध्या दरगह सच खरे दरगे सच खरे। सत्संग राज मिल के फतेह बुलानी जी। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। So Guru's Kirpa, we're now at Pauri 32. There's only 7 more Pauriya, including this one, until the slok of Japji Sahib. So it's a very important number as well, 7, because in this body there's one arth which is the straightforward arth, which we can understand by this body, but there's also a much deeper meaning of this body, which is referred to these 7 next Pauriya, and it will be explained by the 7 Pauriya. So we'll go to that later on. So last body, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pasha was talking to the Siddhs, and they explained to them that Vaheguru is everywhere. Asana, loe, loe, pandar. Vaheguru is everywhere and provides everything for us. But we can't see this Vaheguru. So the Siddhs now ask Maharaj, can Maharaj explain to us now, how do we get to this Vaheguru? How do you find this Vaheguru? Who is everywhere, but can't be seen. So Maharaj then replies back in this body. Maharaj says, एक दू जी भौ लख हो है लख हो वह लख 20 लख लख गेड़ा आखिय है एक नाम जगदीश एत राहे पत पवड़ियां चढ़िया होए 21 सुन गल्ला आकाश की कीटा आई रीस नानक नदरी पाइय कूड़ी कूड़े ठीस Kudi Kuda Peace. So Guru Sahib in this Pauri nights explained the path to God. Very important to us. If you imagine, Japji Sahib so far has taught us so much. But now, Maharaj gives it straight to us. What should we be doing, trying to do in our life? Now this is a path which is not an outside path. It's not a path that I can give you directions to on a car and you can drive there. It's an inner path. ठीक है ना? So, given that it's an inner path, if it's an outer path, like a mountain, people use the analogy of a mountain, God's on top of a mountain, we're climbing up. If it was a mountain, if you were tired, you could get on a pitu, and get on a horse, and get a kachar, and get on it and go up. But this path is not like that path. This inner path, you can't pay someone to sit you on their back and climb you there. The second thing you can't do with this path is, you can't pay someone else to climb it for you. है ना? But आजकल की हो रहा है that we pay someone to do the part for us. Maharaj is telling us the path is inner, but we still pay someone else to do the part for us. And so Sangaji, the things are getting so bad now that even from Darbar side, you can order a Akhand part online, and they just email you back the Hukamnama. You see, तुसी नहीं सुनिया, but somehow you think you got the full of it. That's our plekha, that we got the benefit of that part that we never heard. When the path is inner, we have to climb it ourselves. There's no way you can pay someone to do it for you. To take it to the next level right now, in India you can buy part pills. Goli mildi hai ye Sukhmani Sahib di. Somebody has done the part of Sukhmani Sahib over that pill, and they sell you that pill. You can pay someone. Some people have said, oh well, one's not enough. Now you can buy pills that are 50 Sukhmani Sahibs or 100 Sukhmani Sahibs. And to see khalo, thanu phal mil jaoga. See, the Plekha Maharaj is addressing in this, There's loads of things that people do. The photo of that place is not going to help you either. If somebody climbed top of that mountain, took a photo of it and gave it back to you, this is not that kind of path. Odi koi picture nahi hai, hai na? In Gurbani it says, Gungi ki mithai. The Gunga can't talk about how sweet this path is. There's no picture of it. So, we're doing many things that might be going away from this path. So it's very important to understand this path now. If you were a youth nowadays, it's often the case, it was the case for me as well, that Sikhi consists of khanda on the car, kada on the hand, a picture of Guru Nanak Dev Ji somewhere in the house, come to Gurdwara, have langar on a Sunday, I've done my bit. This is also a play car, because this is not the path. The path is this, what Maharaj is telling us now. So if we want to understand this path, we have to listen to Gurbani. What does Gurbani say about this path? Even amongst religious people, sometimes, we can get confused about the path as well. We can start thinking what I'm doing is the right way. Does it correspond with this path though? What does Guru Sahib say about this path? I remember when my wife took Amrit, she was obviously long time ago, about 10 years ago, she got told, she's white, she got told by somebody who was from the white community, don't take Amrit, all the Amritaris are Hankari. If you take Amrit, you become... See, asked somebody who was in India, they said the same thing. So sometimes even the people that are following this path, they said they're on the path, but is that the path that they're on? Because if this path of taking Amrit consists of you becoming into a Hankari person, you're not on the path. So, in this body, Maharaj explained to us exactly what's going to happen on this path. And the deeper arth we'll come to second, we'll go into even more detail. Now, the hard path to God is actually the road less travelled. There's a famous book about it, the road less travelled. Not many people go on this path. Kabir ji says in Bani, Kabir, Jeh Marak Pandit gaye, Pache paye Bahir. Kabir ji says, the path of the Pandits, the people that walk the way, the Pandits, there's loads of people on that path. But he doesn't like that path to the Pandits. Because that's the common path. What you might say, what we do, come on a Sunday, I come on a Sunday and I think I know my religious bit. Many people do that path. Many people do that path. But then Kabir ji says, it avgat kati Ram ki. Ek avgat, very hard and difficult. Kati means path. Ram ki, this path. And then chad rahe ho Kabir. Kabir is going on that path. No one's really walking that path. It's a very difficult path. And Guru Arjan Pasha in Surat Prag says also, Maharaj says, Kis Paath padhyo ar Ved bicharyo nival bhyangam sade panch jana syo sang nahi chutkyo adik ahum bud pade pyare Vaheguru pyare in bid mil na jai main kiye karam aneka. I've done loads of things, but is tariqe nahi milda. Maharaj says next, Har paryo Swami ke dware dije buddh viveka. Now, I've realized, even Paath Parna, Maharaj says, hold on, many people have done Paath before as well. See, for example, we paid someone in Harmandir Sahib to do Paath for us. Or soche ki Paath pada gaya, we got our mukti. For somebody to Sukhmani Sahib for us, or put in the pill. Maharaj says, is tarike mein nahi honda. Panch jana syo sang nahi chutkiyo. So the path is not a simple path. It's a very complicated path. And then you have to get the Guru to give you the Viveka, the Buddh Vivek. And in Gurbani we say ki Guru ki mahma main kya kaha. What ustad can I do with my Guru? What praise can I do with my Guru? O Vivek Sat Sat. He is the ocean of Vivek, of this Vivek we're looking for, which is wisdom. The ability to distinguish between what is right and what is wrong. This Vivek is very important. To realize what we're doing, is it along the path or not? So Guru Amar Das, he also tells us that this path, we can talk about path a little bit too much maybe, but Maharaj says ki Bhagtan ki chal nirali. Chala nirali Bhagtan keri bikham marg chala. Very awkward, difficult word, road. Lab, lob, ahankar, taj trishna, bahut nahi bolna. So the path involves these things as well. It's not a simple path that we just say one mantra all the time and then that's it. It's a very complicated and wide path, and many things have to be done at the same time. And Maharaj says, Khanyo tikhi, valo nikki, et marg jana. It's very, very subtle path. Sharper than a sword's edge, thinner than a hair. And then Maharaj says, Gur Prasadi, Jini Aap Tajya, Har Vasna Samani. Remember this word because Vasna means desire. We talked about this before, Vasna. If, with the Guru's grace, we leave our ego, then Maharaj says, Kehe Nanak Chal Pagta, Jugo Jug Nirali. Isn't that a very unique path? To leave your ego, leave all these Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar, lose the Vashnas, the desires of the mind. This is the path that will come to the 7-stage process Maharaj talks about here as well. So Guru Nanak Ji says in the beginning, Ek du jiboh lakh ho hai, lakh ho vah lakh vis. What that means is, Ek du, from 1 to, du means here 2. So from 1 to my tongue, jiboh lakh ho hai. If it became 100,000, so from 1 ek du jiboh lakh ho hai. If it became 100,000, then lakh ho vah lakh vis. Not even just it became 100,000, but from 100,000 it became to lakh vis, 2 million, 20 100,000. So Maharaj is saying, look, if this happened to me, if I had now 2 million tongues instead of 1, what would they do with those tongues? If I had a lakh geda akhiye, ek naam jagdish. With all these tongues, what would I do? A geda. Geda means go round and round. Basically means repeat. Now, people know about geda because people do those in a youth nowadays do geda, but this is about repetition. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Geda akhiye because to speak, ek naam jagdish. Not to just inside, but akna, to say ek naam. The one name of the Jagdish. Jagdish is the Lord, the owner of the world, Vaheguru, the one who owns the world. So, and then Maharaj says next, we talk about the path. Et rahe pat pavdiyan. This is the road. Rahe is the word that's used, rao. As we say even in Punjabi, rasta. Same thing. Et rahe pat pavdiyan. Pati here is pat means pati, as in the husband Lord. We know that in Sikhi, the analogy is used again and again and again, that we are all brides to that one Vaheguru. We're all brides. So this is the road Maharaj saying, Et rahe pati, the pati parmeshwar, pat pavdiyan, the pavdiyan, the steps. This is the road, these are the steps to pat pavdiyan. Chadiye, if you climb up this, hoye ikis, you become one. Ikis becomes from ik, Ishwar, one with Vaheguru. You become one with Vaheguru. This is the aim. So not only is the aim being given here, but also the Maharaj explained to us the pavdiyan to get to that one. And it starts with that even if I had 1 tongue or I had 2 million tongues, the only thing I would do with those 2 million tongues is to again and again and again say the name of that one husband Lord, and I would climb up and become one with the husband Lord. So basically what he's saying is, without bhakti, can't get to God. Maharaj says ki, in Gurbani he says, Gur ki matu le aane, bhagat bina bahut dube syane. Syane bande, who got very intelligent and thought, well, I've understood it now. Even that, if they don't do this bhakti, this path is for walking. It's not for talking about it. This is a walking path, you have to go on it. And therefore, the only way to do it is to listen to what Guru's updesh is and follow it. Now, we're talking about the tongue here a little bit, because Maharaj is talking about the tongue. In Gurbani it says, if you don't say Vaheguru with the tongue, might as well cut it out and throw it away. Can you believe how Maharaj is being so clear? If your tongue does not say Vaheguru, you may as well get rid of it. Because koi fayda nahi si. It doesn't say the name of Vaheguru. It's that clear. Maharaj says, if you don't say Vaheguru, just imagine it's like someone spitting in your mouth. In Asa Diwar, I can't remember the exact line, Ma jit mukh naam na uchre. If somebody doesn't say naam, then understand it's like someone spitting in your mouth. No one wants that. It's that bad. The second part of this is, if I had more than 1 tongue, I wouldn't use it for something else. I wouldn't do Nindya with 1 tongue, do chatting up girls with the other tongue, and the third one I use for saying Vaheguru's name. It's not that way. If you're going to use 1, and if you had more, I will still do the same thing. So this comes back to what's our desire in life. When we talk about the 7-stage path, the first step is the right desire, Shubh Ichha. The Shubh Ichha here is that even if I had more than one tongue, I would just say Waheguru's name. There's another level to understanding this 2 million tongues. In Gurbani, Maharaj says ki Gurmukh Rom Rom Harte Ave. That as says Gurmukh, what Gurmukh does is that after some time of doing this Simran, it becomes so deep that every hair on the body of the person who is fully facing Guru Gurmukh, who's following Guru's path, who's walking that path, every hair starts to chant God's name. So understanding this, how can we get 2 million tongues, is that actually we can progress spiritually to the point where not just our tongue says Waheguru, but our body starts saying Waheguru, and then our entire body starts to vibrate with that Waheguru's name, Bhajna. So that it's not just that we are saying Waheguru, also the world is saying Waheguru back to us. Maharaj says in Gurbani that everywhere the person looks, they see Waheguru's name being chanted. They hear it with their ears all the time. We talked about the Panch Shabad, Anhatuni. The world starts saying Waheguru's name, and we know already that the name is supporting the world. We know that Maharaj says ki Naam ke tare Akas Patal, ki everything is supported by the Naam. So therefore, we can hear the Naam from the world as well. So it becomes a two-way process. The world is saying Waheguru to you, and you're saying Waheguru to the world. So it becomes always Ikdu Jibo Lakh Ho Hai. Lakh Hove, Lakh Vis, Lakh Lakh Geda Akhiye. This is what happens then. Lakh Lakh Geda Akhiye, Ek Naam Jagdish. It means you're already always hundreds of thousand times going in this. And there's a Shabad from Guru Amar Das, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pasha, which talks about this. Because nowadays there's a pleka in the world that doing Naam Simran is just parrot. People say that it's parrot talk, repetition. Because a parrot, you can teach it a word and it will just say that word again and again and again. It doesn't know what that word means. So some people say, this is parrot talk. Oh, hogi na gal. Maharaj just said, ki pagat bina bahut dube sane. You could be as sana as you want, you could cast the pagats, but without bhakti, you don't get in there either. You will drown, Maharaj says. So Guru Sahib says, in Gaudi Mahalla Panjwa, Har Simrit Sab Mithe Kalesh. When you say Waheguru's name, all your kalesh in your mind, all the stress, it wipes out. Charan Kamal Man Meh Parves. You have a love for Waheguru. Then the next time Maharaj says ki Uchro Ram Naam Lakh Bari. Say the name of Waheguru Lakh Bari. Amrit Ras Pivo Prabh Pyari. Oh beloved of Waheguru, drink the ras. So the name of Waheguru, initially we start saying it, but over time we develop to the point where we can start tasting the name of God. It becomes an experience. It's not an empty thing. You experience Waheguru every time you say it. The Maharaj says next, in the same Shabad, Sukh Sahaj Ras Maha Ananda. With this ras that you drink, what will happen? You will get peace. You get calm. Sahaj. Ras. Maha Ananda. You get the ultimate bliss. Maha Anand. The world says Anand, Anand sab ko kya hai? Ananda Guru te janya. Guru gives us this true bliss that's higher than anything else. Then Jap Jap Jive Paramananda. Then after that, what happens to you? Then you live when you say Waheguru's name. The minute you forget, you feel like, oh man, I'm dead. I need to get back to that, saying Waheguru's name. This is the stage that happens. Lakh Lakh Geda Akhiye. Ek Naam Jagdish. And Maharaj says next, but also, what is the other part of this path? It's not a one-fold path of just doing one thing. There's other things that are involved in it as well. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Mad, Khoi. The alcohol, mad is alcohol. This Kam, Krodh, Lobh, these mad, these Kam, Krodh, Lobh, they are lost. Sad ke sang, kilbik sab toy. All your mind becomes washed clean while hanging out in the Sad Sangat. Then Kar Kirpa Prabh Deen Deyala Nanak DJ Sadrava. Nanak says, oh Waheguru, bless me with one thing. Let me come to the Sad Sangat and let me be the dust of those holy people that chant your name. A lot of people don't know, when we come inside the Gurdwara, people touch the floor and put it on their matha. And people, it's becoming to ritual. The reason we do that is because we're saying we're the dust of the feet of the people that have walked this path. Those people that have walked this path, that have said your name, let me take their dust, put it on my matha. That's the reason why we do it. That's the reason we do it at the front there as well. And Maharaj says in Shabad Azari, हो कुर्बाने जाओ मेहरबाना, हो कुर्बाने जाओ. अब ये sacrifice हो कुर्बाने जाओ तना के land जो तेरा नाम, land जो तेरा नाम तना के हो sad कुर्बाने जाओ. That's how much we love the people that worship the saints. Let it not be that we see somebody who says Waheguru and we judge them because of their outer look. Let it not be that way. Let it be that we say, Tusi Rabdana lende hegyo tan, mere bag, I met you. I'm blessed for meeting you because you say God's name. You're probably better than me. That's what we should be having. It's not the case that people say, oh, the people in the pub get along better than the Singhs. No, it shouldn't be that way. It should be that the Singhs should be doing this. Ki jodi se gur sikhra, this niv niv lage pai jiyo. When I see a Sikh of the Guru, I touch their feet. That's what we should be doing. So let's do this now. If this is a unified path, we need to fight our greed, our attachment, our pride, our desires, even our talking about this path. We need to fight that, we need to walk this path. And Guru Sahib has told us that this is all through Guru Mantar. Maharaj says that if you don't have Guru Mantar, you may as be like a pig or a dog or a snake. If you don't have this Guru Mantar, that's what Maharaj says, it's important. So the Guru Mantar is Waheguru, Guru Mantar hai Jap Home Koi. We're trying to lose our ego. Ego is a manifestation, these sponge jor. The way to do it is to sing Waheguru. So we'll do that now. Maharaj says, Rasna Japti, Tu Hi, Tu Hi, Tu Hi, Tu Hi. We talked about Guru Gobind Singh Ji at Paonta Sahib saying Tu Hi 16,000 times. Maharaj says that the Sikh that reads it 16 times will get the same fall of those 16,000 times. So Tu Hi karna bahut zaruri hai. So we start with this, repeating that Shabad, and then we'll do some Waheguru. Everybody should sing along now. We're not spectators on this path, we're participants. कि बिन हर भगत कहाँ थित पावै. Without bhakti of Naam, of Vaheguru, how will you get to this place? Kol Maharas Amrit The Paya, Nanak Har Gur Jako Diya. So who Guru blesses when they say Vaheguru? They could say it once and they get blessed. They can say 100,000 times and don't get blessed. There's reasons for this. There's things that we've done in our past, but it's a combined path. The person who might be saying it all the time hasn't tried to conquer the 5. They haven't actually taken Guru's mat. They still think that they know best about life. They still haven't given themselves inside. It's an inner game to give yourself to your Pati Parameshwar. Why is it called Pati? Why is it Pati and not Lord? Because it's a marriage. So we have to get married to our God as well. We have to accept God as our Lord, Master and our husband. And you know, from a wife's point of view, there's only one husband in this world. Vaheguru. Guru. Every Sikh is married to their Guru in the same way that if the Mangal Sutra goes around the wife who is Hindu, then the Sikh should be wearing a gata around the neck as well. Because that's giving yourself to your Guru as well. If you haven't given yourself, at the moment, aim for it at least. If you reject that, it's never for you, then you're saying, Guru Sahib, you're not for me. You're not my husband. If you never plan to get married to your Guru, then how can you walk on this path? So, in Bani, it says many times how to jap Naam. We made a video about it as well on YouTube. It goes through the Guru Mantra in much more detail. What are the 5 different ways of understanding the Guru Mantra? I won't repeat it here because it take up quite a lot of the session. But essentially, you can say, Wow Guru, Vaheguru. Then we could say like, Vaheguru, from darkness to light, the enlightenment itself. We could also say about the 4 jugs, that this mantra is a supreme mantra made up of all the Vaheguru. These 4 phrases, these 4 akkars, they come from all the 4 jugs. And the highest one is Vaheguru. And then just calling Vaheguru by itself, just calling, like your child calls a mother. And Gurbani says ki Antar Gur Aradhana, Jehva Jap Gurnao, Netri Satgur Pekhna, Sarni Sunana, Gurnao. Then what happens? Satgur Seti Ratya Dargeh Paye Thao. You get a place in that throne if you give yourself to your Guru and get absorbed in your Guru. And then Maharaj says, Kaho Nanak Kirpa Kare. Jisno E Vath De. Who gets blessed with this Vath? The same Vath we talked about a minute ago. Without Bhakti, it doesn't come. Without this path, doesn't come. Jag mein Uttam Kardiye hai. They get called as the highest and then Virle Ke Ke. There's very few people that take this path. Even if you look in the path now, very few people actually give themselves to their Guru as well. The same thing. Because Maya, Maya Mohini. This Maya is so Mohini, and then you get lost in it. So, to go on from this idea, if people say they don't do Naam Japana, it's a rabbit thing. What about Sukhmani Sahib when it says ki Barang Bar Bar Prab Japiye? Be Amrit E Mantan Prapiye. We have to do Barang Bar Bar. It's Bhakti. There's no other way to do this apart from Bhakti. Utna peh ke naam kehna hi payega. We can't get away with it any other way. Maharaj says ki har ke log Ram jan nike paghin na sukhaye. People in the world will cuss the person who does Bhakti. Even the other day, yesterday I went to Gurdwara in Peterborough, Polish capital of this country. I went there, and in the Gurdwara there was a guy who used to be a Hindu, now is a Singh, and he said, in his family, because they're also Hindus, they cuss him as well. Maharaj says in this Bani, ki har ke log Ram jan nike. They are good and fortunate, the people that are the ones that follow Vaheguru. But the unfortunate ones, the unlucky ones, they don't like them as well. They don't like them at all. Because they're doing something different. And they don't understand why these people that are following God don't do what they do. Why don't they drink alcohol? Why don't they go like going to the pub? Why don't they go out late night with them? Why do they get up early? Why? Because every time that person does that, it hurts them. It hurts them because they think, well, I'm doing all this stuff. This guy's rejected what I do. Why is he rejecting what I do? Isn't it good enough? Then they say, oh, you think you're better than me. That's what they say next. You think you're better than you're better than me. You're trying to be a Gurmukh and the people will cuss you for being a Gurmukh, trying to follow your Guru, because they don't like it, because they know somewhere deep down, this path goes nowhere. Because I've been on that path, I've been drinking, I've been going out late night. I can tell you it goes nowhere. You can take it to the Anta level and it goes nowhere, because ultimately you'll be left with a big yearning inside. What is the point of my life? So they have that same yearning, but they ignore it. They dull it with alcohol and drugs. Some of us do as well that are singing the Sangha. They dull that yearning with alcohol and drugs or whatever else they follow. They don't want to listen to it. But the yearning remains there. We said, Kate Kate Vaje Nad. In every heart there is that sound. He come and eat the Gyan. This Bhagat Gyan, come and eat it. And Maharaj tells ki, in this Shabad about Har ke log, Jo jo Ram kahe jan uche. As the saints of God, they say the name of God loudly. Uche. Nar Nindak dance lagai. The Nindak attack them and they sting them. Say, kyon kar rahe ho? You're parrots. But the Har ke Santana shouldn't worry about that. Ki teri bhagat na chodo, pave log hase. Don't leave this bhakti. This is the only way to get somewhere. Even if people laugh at you, follow the path. Even if you start becoming into a Sikh. You know the Shabad yesterday in the Hukamnama from this program, it said that people that follow God, when they start drinking this ras, you know, they can't explain to people. They can't explain it because A is gunge ki mithai. But when they have that ras, and they get that jewel, you can't hide it. You try to hide it, but you can't hide it. So the person that starts following Sikhi, their life changes. Their family knows it. Looks around, they go, yeah, this guy's a bit changing this person. Now he wakes up early, starts doing his part, starts asking questions. Maybe if they're blessed, they start following Sikhi, they start keeping the roop. You can't hide that at all. Imagine one day you clean shaven and nothing on your next when you got a bug and the dari. You can't hide that. It's Guru's kirpa, you can't hide it because somebody needs to ask, the other people on the street need to ask someone, how does it work? The next lines in this body, after explaining to us that this is the Etrahe, Pat Pavdiya, Chadiye Hue Ekis, then it goes Sun Galna, Akas ki, Kita Airis. So there's one way of understanding this body, which is that the people like me who listen to these holy, they heard the words of the saints who are following this path, when they hear those saints, they go, wow, is that true? That there's something inside me as well, that I can merge with this one. Then they are like those kire on the ground, they don't know anything about, but when they hear the talks about these heavens up there, they start saying, maybe I'll follow it as well. They start following it, because they want to try it. When we go to university and do talks, and talk about God, and talk about Sikhi, then a week later there is a difference. There is a difference because people start listening to Kirtan. They start thinking, there's something here. Those people that start following this path, they're blessed. Because they got a bit of dubida. The Shanka aa gaya. Shanka on what? On Maya. The Maya ain't real. Maybe Guru is more real. Maybe Guru ki mat. I should take the Guru's mat. Guru ki mat tu le yaane. Pagat bina. Bhodu besane. They start to understand this. They go, oh, really? Maybe I should listen to my Guru. So this is the path. Etrahe pat pavdiya. Chadiye hoye ki sungalla akas ki. Kita ai rees. The kita has to copy. Rees karna copy. But there's another path to this as well. That Sungalla Akas ki Kita Airis can also mean this. That the people in the world, when they hear these heavenly talks like Gurbani is giving out now, these high level talks about Sikhi, about life, what they start doing is, they start thinking that if I understand the path, that I know the path. If I gave you the path from here to Scotland, and I said you're going to go past Oxford, and then you're going to go Birmingham, and then further on you go to Manchester, you keep going that way, you get to Scotland, doesn't mean that you got to Scotland. Same with me. If I'm talking about this path right now, Etrahe Patapavdiya, Chadiye Hue, Ikis, just because I have the knowledge from Guru Sahib to explain this body by doing research, it didn't come automatically by the way, there's no Brahmgyan here, then what's the next step? It doesn't mean that I know what it feels like to be one with Waheguru. Gunga ki mithai hai, doesn't mean I know it. However, if some fake sadhu stood up now, both again. In Punjab now, there's more sons than there are villages. On number, there's more villages are these many, there's more sons out there than there are villages. And they've all got dairy, so there's more dairy than there are villages. So statistically, in every village there's got people that follow two or three sons. Because otherwise how would they get so many dairy, And they all got money somehow. So people are trying to the swan on the wrong thing. Not on Sikhi, but on sadhu and these dairy. So Maharaj in this Shabad is talking about ki, in this Sungalla Akas ki, some people they hear these talks about this enlightenment, that this is the way to do it. We're going to talk about this path, the sevenfold path in a little while. then they start to say that I know. They pretend that they know. And Gurbani is full of these things. Kabir ji says, Gaj sade tate totiyan tehre pain tag. They wear loincloths. Or do it in English. They have 3.5 long yards of loincloths. They have triple wound sacred threads. You know this tag around their neck. They have rosaries, male around their neck. They carry glittering jugs in their hands. Then Mala said, these are not Oe har ke sant na aakiye. Banaras ke thug. They're the thieves. They are not really the saints of Waheguru. They are thugs, thieves. And then aise sant na moko pave. These kind of saints I don't want, Mala says. Why? Because dala syo peda gatkave. They eat the trees along with the branches. They take the Sikh, they say to them, I'll teach you something about Sikhi. Why is it the tree along the branch? Wear that tree. We give them money. What do? They don't just eat the money that we give them. They eat ourselves. We're going nowhere when we follow these people. Our janam becomes brust. It goes to hell. They go to Narak themselves and they take us with them as well. That's the worst kind of person. If somebody comes and tells you about Waheguru, about Guru from Gurbani, imagine if a wife is waiting for the husband's letters. And then the postman comes along, reads out the letter, and she thinks the postman is the husband. It's not that way, is it? But most of these sadhus and most of these deities, they just repeat the words of Gurbani. Then they do even worse things. They put it on a piece of string, they give it to you. This is a mantra. Two people go to the same sant with the same problem. Against each other, they both get given the same bit of Bani to read. So one person says the Bani didn't work, Bani's got no power. Other person says Bani worked, Bani's got loads of power. This is all selling. It's all more and more of what we can call just pakhand. And they eat us. They take us to hell. So what we're going to do now is a Shabad. Maharaj says to us, what should we do really with our tongue? Kirat prab ki kao meri rasna. This is the only thing. It's a personal path. No one else can help you on this path. Guru Sahib Gurbani is here to teach you, but we have to walk this path. Okay? It's hard work. Mehnat. People want easy answers, but mehnat is the way forward. We have to work hard on this path. So kirat prab ki kao meri rasna. Rasna means tongue. Anik bar kar bandhan santan uha charan gobind ji ke basna. If you again and again do bandhan. Bandhan means bandagi. When we say kar bande to bandagi. Again and again repeat God's name. Uha charan gobind ji ke basna. Then you will sit at the feet of Waheguru. That's all we want. That's all we want, to sit at Guru's feet. As we say, ki Raj na chaho, Mukut na chaho, Manpreet charan kamlare. We worship Waheguru's feet. That's humility as well.
Kirat prab ki gaao meri rasna. 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 Anik baar kar bandhan santan uha charan gobind ji ke basna. Anik baar kar bandhan santan uha charan gobind ji ke basna. Kirat prab ki gaao meri rasna. Kirat prab ki gaao meri rasna. Anik pant kar dwar na pavo. Anik pant kar dwar na pavo. Anik pant kar dwar na pavo. Hoye kripal tahar har yavo. Hoye kripal tahar har yavo. Kirat प्रभु की गाओ मेरी रसना, कीरत प्रभु की गाओ मेरी रसना।
प्रभु की गाओ मेरी रसना, कीरत प्रभु की गाओ मेरी रसना।
तृष्णे न बूझी मोरंग माया, तृष्णे न बूझी मोरंग माया, तृष्णे न बूझी मोरंग माया। नाम लेत सर्व सुख पाया, नाम लेत सर्व सुख पाया। कीरत प्रभु की गाओ मेरी रसना, कीरत प्रभु की गाओ मेरी रसना। अनेक बार कर वंदन संतन, उहाँ चरण गोविंद जी के बसना। अनेक बार कर वंदन संतन, उहाँ चरण गोविंद जी के बसना। कीरत प्रभु की गाओ मेरी रसना, कीरत प्रभु की गाओ मेरी रसना। पार ब्रह्म जब पैद आन, पार ब्रह्म जब पैद आन, पार ब्रह्म जब पैद आन। को नानक तो छूटे जंजाल, को नानक तो छूटे जंजाल। कीरत प्रभु की गाओ मेरी रसना, कीरत प्रभु की गाओ मेरी रसना। अनेक बार कर वंदन संतन, उहाँ चरण गोविंद जी के बसना। अनेक बार कर वंदन संतन, उहाँ चरण गोविंद जी के बसना। कीरत प्रभु की गाओ मेरी रसना, कीरत प्रभु की गाओ मेरी रसना। कीरत प्रभु की गाओ मेरी रसना, कीरत प्रभु की गाओ मेरी रसना।
The word Kirat means praise. To praise Vaheguru. We know Kaljug mein Kirtan Pardhana. But to praise Vaheguru, we can also say the name of Vaheguru. Vah, Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru. This is also praise. The thing is though, is that the people that do these thuggery, these bananas ke thug, they give you some mantra, but the focus is that Baba blesses you. The focus is the Baba, not you. And every time it doesn't work, you have to pay him a little bit more for a higher mantra or a bigger pill. Maybe they'll give you some more Sukni Sada water, Sukni Sada the pills. And this happened a lot. There's a story about Guru Nanak Dev Ji. They went to Jagannath Puri, jithe aarti hui sigi, same place. And there was a sadhu, and he had his fingers in his nose like this, and he was looking up, and he was telling everybody about the teen lok, pretending that he could talk about what was in the heavens, what was in the hells, what was happening all over the world. Teen lok. And he, in front of him, he had his pouch of money, you know? He gave me money. His kappar is called. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji, they went to see this guy. Remember we said that Guru Nanak Dev Ji was quite young. So he was 27 years old. And they liked taking what you might call pangit. They're throwing water the wrong way. They weren't the kind of person we think nowadays, old man, eyes up in the sky. That wasn't really Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Guru Nanak Dev Ji went to this guy, he took the money bag from in front of him and put it behind his back. And they didn't steal it, they put it behind his back. So now, after a little while, this sadhu, whoever pretend, he opens his eyes and he goes, Mama, where's my money gone? He goes, who stole the money bag? So Guru Nanak Dev Ji laughed. There's Shabad about this in Gurbani. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, Le, you talk about all the heavens and the hells, and you're talking about you can see the whole world, but you can't see what's behind your own back. And now they piche. So Guru Sahib says in Bani, look at the state of Kali Yuga. Akhi tam meete hai. You got your eyes closed, naak pakade. You got your nose, fingers closed. Thagan ko sansar. You're robbing the whole world. Thagan ko sansar. Raho. Next line, Maharaj says ki, Aant seti naak pakade. Sujte te loe. He's closing off his nostrils and claims to see all the three worlds. Ten loe. Magar pache kach na suje. Ehe padam aloa. So look at this stage. You know, padam is this sukhasana that people sit in this yoga. Maybe they got their feet, I can't even do it. You can see my feet can't even bend properly. You know, they put their feet up like this and they sit in different poses. What an amazing padam you've got. You can't even see what's behind your own back. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji was that kind of a guru. They wanted to prove to people as well, ki ye thagri hai. And they did stuff like this as well. At the beginning of that Shabad, Maharaj says, Maharaj describes the state of the world. Ratanasri, Mahla Pehla. Kal nahi, jog nahi sataka dab. This is not the right time when people know what is real yoga. We're going to talk about the 7 stages now of yoga. To become ikkis. This is not the time. People don't understand this path now, Maharaj says. Why? Thart sat jag brast hue dubta eh jag. Iv jag. People keep going to holy places. Just like us lot come to Gurudwara on a Sunday, we done our little bit, but they haven't gone inside. You know? This is what's happening in the world. People just go to holy places and they done their religious bit. And the world is drowning. Because Bhagat Bina, bahut doob besyani. Then Maharaj says, Kal mein Ram Naam Sar. In Kali Yuga, we say Kirtan, but also in Kali Yuga, Ram Naam is the support. This is the way to get to God in Kali Yuga. And that's why some people, they put their fingers in their nose and they play, but there's no way of getting to God through following that person. Only thing is to go inside. Follow these 7 steps and get to God. So we'll talk about the 7-step process now, because obviously, I've said it so many times, we don't want to tell us what it is as well. So, you know, in Hinduism, what you might call, there's not a religion of Hinduism. There's like loads of books and people follow different things. But if there was to be a religion of Hinduism, the one that's the closest, the path among Hinduism, the closest to Sikhi is Vedanta. And now, we all know about the Vedas. In the Vedas, there's 4 Vedas. The end of all the Vedas, they've got something called the Upanishads. So the why it's called Vedantic thought is because at the end of the Vedas comes the Upanishads. So Vedantic. So at the end of the Vedas is Upanishads. From the Upanishads comes the Vedantic philosophy. And it's very close to Sikhi. So in Vedantic they say, like Swami Vivekananda, that was one of the main people that nowadays you would say about Vedanta. They call it Advaita. Advaita means non-dual. There's no double, there's only one. So Advaita. And here's where the famous philosophy of Sat Chit Ananda comes from. That the form of Waheguru, the one thing that is real, the only Sat in the world is that one. There's nothing else. Like we say, ek hi hai, sab Gobind hai, sab Gobind hai, Gobind bin nahi koi. They're the same philosophy, ek hai. Monotheistic, but this Brahma, which they call Brahm, this ultimate Brahma, who is that? Sat Chit Anand. The 3 things they can describe about it is the form of Sat, it is the form of Anand, Anand Sarup, and it's the form of Chit, consciousness, pure consciousness. And then they say that the soul, the Jiva, as we say, is part of that one, ultimately. So it's separated from that one, through Maya. So ego of the mind and the Maya of the world separates us from the one that we are part of. So you can see that already a Sikh is thinking, I'm sure this is in Gurbani somewhere. Yeah? Because it's very similar. Now they say in this the truth is one, but people have different names for it, which is what we say as well. Ek hai. So there's 4 ways in Vedanta. 4 main ways: Gyan Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, and Raj Yoga. These 4, they refer to what you might say, those 4 in Sikhi, to be honest, we have all 4 joined as one path, but they have them separated. So Gyan Yoga is about knowledge. It's about intellectually convincing the mind to merge with the one. Through pure Gyan, through reason, through willpower. It's ideal for people that are quite intellectual, the philosopher type people. Bhakti Yoga is all about love. Just like we can think what yoga might be, Bhakti is about prem. It's a prem marg. Sikhi has a prem as well, and it has the Gyan as well, the ultimate Gyan. So it appeals to emotional people. So people that follow Krishna in Hinduism, they say, oh, we're doing Bhakti Yoga. We're worshipping Krishna, and we're saying Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, we become gopis. And other people will say, no, we are Gyanis, we follow the Gyan Marg, we read the Vedantic thought, and they just meditate upon these truths. And Karma Yoga refers to doing good karma, Nishkam Seva. So you can see that even in Sikhi, there's people that are the Nishkam Seva Jatha, the people that we say are the Seva Panthis, for example. And they say that the ego can be eradicated only through Nishkam Seva, to get rid of our selfishness, any expectation of any return. So we open our heart and we see God in everybody. So Bhai Kanhaiya Ji obviously saw God in every single person, the enemy and the non-enemy. So they have gone down this path as well. And the 4th path is Raj Yoga, which is about control of the mind, to control these panchjan that we've got. And for them, it's sometimes a lot of yoga. So the Kundalini people, they say they're doing Raj Yoga. And also, there's stuff like Swas Simran, to stay there. Even this Ik Duji Bo Lakh Ho Hai, Lakh Ho Vai, Lakh Vis, Lakh Geda Akhiye Ek Naam Jagdish. To control your mind and win it. Manjite Jagjit. You can see that these people that have broken it up into 4 different ways, Sikhi really combines all 4. You have to be the person who has the Gyan of Guru Shabad. Guru's Gyan is what we think about. Vicharna is very important to vichar. But also we have to do Bhakti and Prem. Because Maharaj says, Sach ko sun leo sabe, jine Prem kiyo, tin hi prabhay. But also we have to do Nishkam. The Maharaj says, ki, if you listen to this Gyan, then now go out there and do some. Vidya Vichari ta Parupakari. To help other people. So we come in this world, we think of ourselves as little, and we do help other people. And the Raj Yoga, to control the mind, to win the mind. Even in Gurbani says, Raj Takat Jog. Is Guru Ramdas, he's sitting on that yoga, he's in full control of his mind. Manjite Jagjit. So, now, in the Gyan process of yoga, they have this thing which is about the 7-stage process. So Guru Sahib explains the answer, because those people, the yogis, they follow this path as well. So you can imagine that Maharaj has dismissed all the 3-gun path, they dismissed the Devi Devte. Now they say, okay, what about this philosophy that we have from the Upanishads? What do you say about this? And Maharaj actually doesn't dismiss it. They explain it. They say, look, if you were going to follow this path, but there's the way that I would do it would be this way. So in the 7 stages, now you know we've heard before, there's 3 avasthas of awake, asleep and dreaming. It's not like we think now. So they have this Jagrat, Swapan and Sushpati, which is a dreamless sleep. And the 4th one is Turiya Avastha. That's what we're all aiming towards. Chautha Pad, Turiya Avastha. Sahaj Avastha we call it in Sikhi. So in this 7-stage process, you go through these 3. So it's not like we're not now. On a spiritual path, maybe some of us aren't even in these 3. We're neither awake, no sleeping, and no dreaming. Because the level that they take you to is very high, very deep. Some people think of it as normal life. It's not like normal life, it's very deep. So stage 1 is basically waking up, Jagrat. So stage 1 involves, the first step of the 7th step is that Shubh Ichha. So we have to do Shubh Ichha, which means the right desire. So you can imagine what they say is, within Shubh Ichha is to read the Vedas, do good actions, as we talked about, and also do Sangat with the holy people. That's exactly what we have to do. When we fall upon this path, the first thing we need to do is find Sar Sangat. We need to read Gurbani, start reading the part, and do vichar of that part. Think about it, listen to it, Sravanan, and then Mannan, to follow it, and then Nidhyasan, to actually do the thing. So listen, accept it as a truth, and then live it. So Shubh Ichha is not just a desire, it's to activate that desire. So if you go to tell someone about Sikhi, the next thing they should want to do is to then say, let me follow this path. Let me start. Shubh Ichha. And from that we start to learn about discrimination. What's good and what's bad. Vivek. We start now to leave calm behind. Our sensual pleasures of the tongue, of the thing, we start to leave those behind. We realize these are temporary. There's something deeper. To go through these 7 quickly, because we're going to go through that in the next couple of weeks anyway. But the next stage is Shubh Vicharna. There's constant Atmak Vichar. So I was thinking, who am I? What's the point in my life? And I'm sure people in this audience, if you're coming here on a Sunday, that's exactly the stage we're in, all of us. Most of us are probably beyond that, but I'll say this is a good stage to start off to do Vichar. We start to do like meditation. We'll come here in the morning and do Simran. We'll try and think through the day, what is this life all about? People post this up on their computers to remind themselves to think, keep thinking. Don't just give up and go back into Maya. Keep thinking about what's the point of life. The next stage of this third is all part of Jagrat Avastha, to wake up. The next stage is called Asang or Nisang, which is, Sang obviously for us is to be part of, Nisang means to be not part of. So we have detachment from Maya. We start to walk away from Maya. And this Bhavna is called Tana Mansa. Tana means a thread, Mansa means our mind. So our mind becomes very thin because it starts to think about things much deeper, it starts to separate from this Maya world. So there's a transformation of the mind. We start to go away from the passions of our body, we start to think about not the world, but about Vaheguru. And effectively, at this stage, if you died, they say, if you died during this stage of your life, when your mind has become sort of detached from the world, you would get heaven for a long time. But then you have to come back again. So you would get that experience of that Ananta. You come back again, and you will have to then climb up. But you come back as a Jnani this time. So if some of us sit in the Sangat now, all of us, it could be that we didn't get Mukti. Because the next stages beyond this, they all involve Mukti. So effectively, if we're trying to become a Jnani in this life, that means in our previous life we probably got to this stage as well. We got to the point where the world wasn't so important, and now we start thinking, and then the desire started falling away from us, but we didn't step up to the next level. Yeah? So this is the third stage. At this point, sorry, this is we still haven't achieved the Mukti state, sorry. The fourth stage is where, after the fourth stage we get Mukti. So there's Satapati. The fourth stage is about purity. Now the mind starts to become Sattvic. You know, we talked about 3 guns, Rajas, Tamas, Sattvic. Now the mind becomes purely in Sattvic. So it becomes purified. There's no more passions from Rajas. There's no more Tamas, there's no more dullness. The Vaishnaves get destroyed now. Vaishnava is what we talked about, Kam, and then Lobh, greed, lust and pride, Ahankara Vaishnava. These 3 get destroyed. And what they call this Satapati is like a calm lake. So the mind now becomes a calm lake. There's no these waves of desires. Yeah. This stage is what is true dreamless state. This is called true dream. The world becomes like a dream. So we don't see the world as real anymore. It becomes into a fake. When the person gets to this stage, they've gone beyond awake into a dream stage. They walk around like the world is a dream. And you might have seen people that look a little bit lost from the world, from Bhakti. Those are those people that have achieved this level. You know, if you look at Bhagat Puran Singh, you look at his bag, it's all over the place. He didn't care. He didn't care. There's people like that in the world. The world is a dream to them. They've got no parva. Parva nahe kise keri, baal sache nahe. They're not concerned about anything else but that one Lord Master. This is the path the Maharaj is describing to us. At this point, everything is the same. Everything is the same. It's called Satapati. Also, it's also called Vaishnava Kshaya. That Vaishnava is being destroyed now. This is a very high stage. But to go even further is, from now on, person has gone into beyond just awake and sleep, but now they've gone into awake and dream. They've gone into the near, it's called sleep, Shushapati, but it's not sleep like we would think. It's like the person is no longer there. The person has fallen asleep, they're no longer there. What you see is not what was there before. At this point, the person has gone into Mukti. They're Jivan Mukti. They're alive, but they've already got Mukti. They've already left this world. There's no more ego. And the first stage of that, the next 3 are all about that. 5th, 6th and 7th are all about Jivan Mukti. So you can imagine the 7th one is Turiya Avastha, that they are one with Vaheguru. They're the walking God on this earth. You know, Har Jan Doi Ek Hai, Bed Bejar Kuch Nahi. So that's the highest level. The 5th one is called Asang Sakt. Asang means what we talked about, that you're no longer part of this world. You're fully detached from this world now. There's no more sang. In Hindi, obviously, they don't say sang, they say sam, asamta. And this way, there's no desires, there's no waking, there's no sleeping. You have full experience of the Anand Swarup Waheguru. Anand Swarup Waheguru is full of Anand this stage. And the person is totally unaffected by what's going on in the world. You can imagine someone like Bhai Mani Singh, who didn't care if they chopped him here or they chopped him here. That person is no longer on this world. They're not in the worldly stage that we would understand, they've gone beyond it. So this stage, the person can still do voluntary actions. They can still choose to do something or not. They haven't totally become one with Waheguru. They've still got some they can choose, but they don't care about what's going on in this world. They're effectively Jivan Mukt. The sixth one, to go even further, in Punjabi is called Sukhopat. The sixth one is called Padarat Pavana. Here the person is living in Sach, knowledge of true Sach. So the next body, the sixth body is Sachkhand. So this person are living in Sach, and also that they are immersed in the truth, they are fully aware of their soul all the time. This is all about being dead to the world. And they only act when somebody else causes them to act. They no longer choose now to act, they only act if somebody else causes them to act. But the last stage, Turi Avastha, Sahaj Avastha, here Mara says, here the Vedanta says that there's no more guns. This is a stage beyond speech, beyond mind, total oneness with Waheguru, no more ego. And actually, there's no differentiation of me or you. Everything is one. There's no pain, there's no pleasure. If you read Guru Tegh Bahadurji's sloks, we can understand this stage a lot. Because Maharaj says, ki ustit nindya nahije, kanchan loh saman. That person, gold and iron is the same. They have no care about ustit nindya, nothing. They're totally separate from the world. And this effectively is what they call Tat Tvam Asi. Only you are true Waheguru. This is the stage we're trying to reach. Tu hi, we talked about. There's only you, Waheguru. There's nothing else but real. At this point, the soul does not act any other way but what Waheguru wants. And actually, if you look at Hukam Rajai Chalna, Nanak Likhya Naal, Hukam Rajai Chalna is this stage. You're totally one with the Hukam. Whatever the Hukam says, you live in that Hukam. That's it. But this person has become one with Waheguru. It's a very high avastha to think about. Imagine for us to get to that stage of Jivan Mukt from the fifth stage is enough. This person has become one with Waheguru. So, what they say in Yoga Vedanta is that the way to get to this stage is to do Om. In this Gyan Yoga, you focus upon that we are one with God. So they say always, like they have the mantras like I am you, Soham, you and me, I are you. But Sikhi doesn't say that we should say that I am God. Because that can be a very dangerous way to go. Some people I've met even in Sikhi that have come from Sikh families, and they look at that quote, Ki tohi mohi mohi tohi antar kaisa, and they start thinking, well, I am God. Sikhi doesn't say start off with I am God, because this is that road. If this road is a description to get to Scotland, it doesn't mean you can pick up Scotland and say I'm Scottish now. It doesn't work that way. We may have to go through Oxford first, right? So the stages, we can't just pick, which is why it says Ki Sungalla Akas Ki Kita Iris. The people, they hear about this 7-stage process, the fake sadhus, and they go, well, obviously no one's going to respect me unless I am that 7th stage. So then they say, I'm at the 7th stage. They know the description, and they start to pretend that's where they are. So even if I tell the description now, I'm nowhere near that stage. Nowhere near. I'm probably at the beginning. Here, Shubh, Ichha. Just come to Gurdwara and hang out with the Sahaj Sangat. So we want to start off with Shubh Ichha. This is the Shubh Ichha Maharaj is telling us in this body. What is a Shubh Ichha? Let's say Waheguru. Let's say Waheguru. The Shubh Ichha is if I had one tongue, or if I had 100,000 tongues, or if you gave me even 2 million tongues Waheguru, I would just say your name. We can't be short on time, so we won't be able to sing it. But let's just do about a minute of just Waheguru Simran to remember this. This is what we want to do with our life. This is Et Rahe Pat Pavadiya. This is the road of the Waheguru, the husband Lord. What do we have to do? Chadiye hoye ik is. Become one with that Ishwar, ik is. Sungalla Akasi Kita Iris. We start to copy this stage. But the first stage for us is to have that right desire. And then Maharaj said, Nanak Nandri Paye Kudi Kudatis. That only by Kirpa we can get this first stage. This whole path is only by Kirpa. For a Sikh, it's not about saying I am God, I am God. It's about saying Waheguru bless me with kirpa. So nadri paiya, only by kirpa we can find His grace. And kudi kuda tees means that the boastings of the false people, the gappa that they have got there, is all false. Kudi kuda tees. Kudiana di tees. Tees means gappa. Those gappa are false as well. Don't follow them. And Asadiwa, there's a lot of Maharaj talks about this part. What are the false gappa? And just to find at the last Maharaj says, Je janas brahman karmam sab pokat nishcho karmam. If you knew about Waheguru, you would know that all these rituals are false. They're all pokat nishcho karmam. Kaho Nanak nehcho tyave. Nanak says, meditate upon God with deep faith that this mantra will work. Guru says this mantra will work. Let's chant it and say it will work. Let's call Waheguru to us. And win Satguru, Vartna Pave. This road will not be found without Satguru. So if you want to follow this path about deep and become one with Waheguru, we have to hold on to our Guru and say their mantra. So we'll finish off with just a bit of Simran. Waheguru, Waheguru, Waheguru. Sorry, Japo. Waheguru, 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 माफ करनी जी। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह।
वाहिगुरु 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 वाहिगुरु